Hi everybody, welcome to the den. Thanks very much for popping by. This is the second of two videos that I've done to do with the Nemesis collection from Awakening Realms. So if you're here because we're just going to go through a couple of bits of preparation that you might need to do to the components if you go for the sets. If you've just dropped here because it said Nemesis, then I would suggest that you have a look at the other video I've done which talks about the collection that we've got on offer here from Simply Scenery. But just a quick revision, we have two sets on offer. The first set is 101 pieces, and that has like the standee doors in it. You will find the links down to Etsy, I think. And then we've got a piece that's 113 pieces because we have the interchangeable doors that go into the mounts and so on. So that's the difference. Now, a lot of printing's been going on, and I've come up with a collection that needs very little prep, to be honest with you. It's only really the doors, and what we're going to do in a moment is just zoom the camera in and have a look at just the very quick removal of the support material that was required to print those doors. A couple of other bits as well, but nothing major. But just going into part of the collection, as it's mentioned before, we have some resins, some of the dead astronauts, or I say all the dead astronauts are actually in resin to preserve the detail. Then there was some computer terminals because the set comes with a number of scatter things. Now people have sort of said to me, so do I need to do much in the way of preparation for painting for these? And no, just your normal base. I mean, you should be undercoating anyway, all your models and that. And for those that haven't, or perhaps are a little bit more serious, you really do need to start getting a spray, an air spray if possible, to undercoat your miniatures with, or can sprays and so on. So you can obviously undercoat in brush, but you don't want that much. You want a bit more control and a little bit of a thinner layer. But it adheres very nicely. This particular model was just sprayed. It's one of sort of an early version. This was a copyright version of a dead astronaut, very 2001-y, and that was a little test piece that I was doing on there, so for the resins and so on. Now the resins will come in various colours depending on what we've got in stock at the time in the use of UV resin. They're very hard wearing, very highly detailed, but yeah, so you just need to spray those. They'll be absolutely fine. You can paint directly on. For the rest of the PLA, once again, just normal undercoating. You get boxes in there. There's a lot of scatter scenery going on. There's the standees and things. So yeah, just normal undercoating, and then you can go into your colours and so on. That just remains that we've got a couple of pieces. The engines and so on come with a little bit of filler. I will zoom in, we'll do a zoom in clip. They come in with a little bit of filler or support material, sorry, and I'm moving that around. It's coming off in my hands, so I better just save it so we have something to show you coming off the model. And there's also the standee doors. So just going to swing that camera around, and we'll just show you those last few bits. Alright, see you in a moment. Okay, so welcome back. As I just mentioned, there is only two things that you need to clean up, and that all depends on what set you're getting. Now, in the standard set, if you like to call it that, the one with the standee doors, you've got your ship's engines, which are pretty cool, nice there, but they have to come with some filler, some support material. This is the section on both this and the larger one which I prepared earlier, that takes the cards, the actual cardboard, engine offline or engine broken and that sort of thing. So those slot in there and reverse round depending on the status of the engine, which you can then lay flat or leave at the side to see. So it's entirely up to you. But a lot of nice detail on that engine for you to bring some thematic theme to the game. So we have a piece now. The chances are we'll just pop this will just pop out, but there is support material in here. You can tell the support material because it's got a lattice, lots of little triangles in there, and that needs to be broken out. Now these are quite clean, so because it doesn't go under the lip or anything, realistically we should be there you go, simple as that. Literally breaks and comes out, no more than that, and then that's cleaned up. What you will notice on the outside is that there's some, where this is the control panel here, there's a control panel, there's a bit of support material which has been printed. Once again, it just lifts away, and it's really nice. Sometimes you can get some pieces that are quite difficult. There's a little bit down here where this exhaust vent is, and I'm literally pulling that off with my fingers. Now, if for any reason it doesn't come off as easy as that, you can get yourself your trusty. I have this very trusty little blunt screwdriver I use for all sorts of things. We all have one of our own little favourite tools, don't we? And that will just ease out those bits. But as you can see, really clean and just drops away. I will probably be using the same filament on that. If I find that any other coloured filaments are a little bit tougher, then I'll alert people. But I don't see, from the design point of view, very little support material was needed for that, and it just comes cleanly away. So that's the engines. So there'll be 3 of those that you'll need to clean up. The other thing is, and you will see them, is the doors. Now this is the collection that comes with a you know, a 3-part door system. This is actually a larger version. This was a test print version, and as you can see, you can interchange the doors, and they come with the sort of standard sort of locking parts at the bottom, and the door slides in like that and goes out, and so on and so forth. Now there is a smaller version of that. The actual stands that you get, oh no, that's the wrong thing, that's a escape pod. So that is a scaled down version. That will be the scale that we'll be using. As you can see, the doors will slide in there, and you've got 2 varieties of the doors. You've got like a full door on there which you can slide in, and then you can slide that out, which is pretty cool. And we have then the melted or broken door, which will slide in as well. Now, to get those to do that, they will come probably looking like on a strip. I've broken these up with the chance I might see a pack. They'll all sort of be, they have this surround to them, which we call a brim, and so there's a bit of plastic on the way around, which is called a brim, and basically what that does is it adds support to keep this in an upright position. If not, then the chance that it would fall over during the print and so on. So we have a little brim on there. Literally, that brim you can knock off with your fingers. It literally should just tear off. You're not going to pull off the print, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. You might find that as you pull it away, you'll pull a little bit of other material away from underneath, because that's material that we actually need to remove from the thing. But anyway, there we are. I've just pulled the brim off, which is looking a little bit like that, so that's waste on there. But you will notice, and if I show you the sort of shape that it needs to be, offer those 2 up together, you can see that there's a bit of support material in the middle and a little bit at each end that supported that. Now that can be probably picked off with your fingers, to be honest with you, but I always use a little pair of cutters, and I don't know if you can see that, you can see quite clearly the angle, so you could have a little bit of side cutter there, a little bit of the side, doesn't take anything, and there you have it. It just pulls away, and the end piece, once again, you could use a Stanley knife if you wished, or your favourite implement. It really is just there in a temporary measure, and that's what you should end up with. Now, the additional thing you need is a little file, because there is a little bit of thing. So what I'll do is just go over gently, just take off any little edges there. PLA is quite a soft material, so you can actually there we go, that's that there, and just a little clean up there, just to give it a bit of things. And it's as simple as that, really. You know, you'll have all these done in next to no time. And now that piece can now just slot in, the fitting's like excellent, and that piece can slot in, and it sits there nicely like that. And of course, we've got our broken door or melted door there, those nasty aliens coming in, and there we are. So that's it for the doors. You've got what, 12 broken doors and 12 full-size doors, so honestly, what, 20 minutes and you'd have it all done, including your engines. And that is all the preparation for cutting off any support material that you'll need to actually do for the set. In fact, even these are the cargo pods, or the escape pods that I designed, and you can see I've used the door to the escape pod area, which are numbered with those doors there, so you could actually use, if you want to, some of the doors from there to keep a thematic view to your doors. Now, one thing I will say is, because of the design, I wanted to keep these pods, the actual pods there. If you're using the sort of rubber bases to the model, you will need to, if you want them to sit there, you will need to take them off so that you can have two people sitting there. Unfortunately, because of overhangs and really sort of limitation on doing things, I couldn't make that high enough really to make that. It would just sit a little bit proud. However, we never say never, and I might just block this end up to bring this pod up slightly up in the air, which would then allow you to slip under. But for the moment, they are slipping under very nicely like that. So that's the escape pods, but there isn't anything for you to prepare on those at all. Those are fine as they are. So really, that's it. Not much at all in the way really of preparation, and you shouldn't have any issues. I've tried them all with different filaments and so on. So there we are. We've covered undercoating before, just a general undercoat, either a tin shaped rattle can undercoat, or really do think about getting an airbrush to airbrush these as well. So, but it's everybody's choice. So there we are. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to presenting some more stuff to you in the future. Please don't forget, if you want more information of all this crazy stuff, then subscribe to the channel. And of course, have a look for the link to the Etsy website, and that will take you to our Facebook page as well, where we sort of chuck up all sorts of videos about bits and pieces that we're doing. All right, thanks again. Take care. Bye-bye now.